Okay guys, we are gonna take a stab at actually getting the generator mounted and the tower lifted today. Before I get into that, I want to cover a couple very important points. First, I grew up having to do all of my projects and take on all the things I wanted to do by myself. I've spent nearly 4 decades living that life. I no longer have to, but I still do it. You're going to see in these videos, or in a lot of my videos, has actually been commented on before. I should have some help doing some of the things that I do. And keep that in mind whenever you're working. If it's heavy, get some help. Don't do things the way that I do them. I take a lot of unnecessary risks for the sake of what is ultimately an inconsequential hobby. I don't need to do this. I do it because I find it interesting. So, I'm not out here trying to lift a 100-pound motor onto a tower while I put bolts in it because I have some need to get some electricity for some life-saving reason. I'm doing it because I think it's fun. And usually at best I have a spotter that can call 911 if things go really sideways. I'm trying to break those habits. I'm trying to get help whenever I think to do it. Whenever it comes time to you, don't use me as an example of why you can do it by yourself. Use me as an example of improper safety considerations. The second is I would not be able to pursue my hobbies and projects like this if it weren't for the tolerance of my loving and beautiful wife. Though she might not say tolerance is the right word. Sufferance might be the right word. She is doing some videos about our homeschooling, our organization, stuff like that. I'm going to post a link to that down below. I know that a lot of people are being thrust into that lifestyle now because of craziness in the world. You are interested in that kind of thing. Somebody might be interested in some information on homeschooling and different ways to organize your process. Take a look at her videos, please. She's doing reviews for a couple of different curriculum and projects, so please feel free to take a look at that stuff. And we'll get started on this tower. Thought you guys might get a kick out of this part. Even my compound post hole diggers can't reach down far enough in these holes, so this is how I have to clean them out. Next, we just get about, bolt everything together and stand it up, I guess. Okay, I'm sure there's going to be some wind noise here. Sorry. It's kind of difficult to get both cameras going where I can have good audio and good video. I'm doing this one a little bit differently than what I've done in the past. Most of them, at the connection underneath, I just use wire nuts. And I do that because they're easy to get to, easy to disconnect if I need to, and it hasn't ever been a problem. This one, though, I am going to do with, I'm just going to solder the connections. And it's because with those other ones, in the past, if I have, needed to get them down, it's pretty easy to get to. So if a wire nut comes loose, I just tilt the tower down or climb up to the roof of my shop or whatever I need to do, make the repair, go on about my day. there's a chance that once this one's in the air, I may not be able to get it down easily. So we are going to make the connection just a little bit more permanent. I will say, I know that I discussed this in the parts breakdown video that I did for this turbine. It's only like I mean, it's bigger than 10 gauge. I mean, it's bigger than the 12 gauge, but it's not quite as big as 10. I do wish that the wire coming out of the turbine was a little bigger, but I can't complain too much. I'm using number 10 going down the tower. I may use bigger wire going from the tower to the shop. Let's see if I can figure out a way to get here. But unfortunately, I got to use the wire I got for most of the time, and this is the wire that I've got. But I just do it with my lighter. I just had it here. That's going to make an interesting video. Of course it fell down in the hole with the spiders. I might have to make an adjustment. Let's come. Okay, instead of going and getting different bolts, I just followed the holes out one size bigger. So we're gonna see if I'm as strong as I think I am. Try to manhandle this thing on there. I'm gonna use that drift punch to help alignment and run some bolts through it. This project's just not worth doing if I don't bleed. I don't know if I can see that. Watch your head. Is a great way to demonstrate how this thing is supposed to protect itself from high wind. It's on a little rocker. You see this rubber stopper back here. It's got another one right up in there. Whenever everything is normal, it's sitting on that stopper up against the stub. It's got these counterweights on it. So this bracket, everything that's hanging down there is supposed to do, just add a little bit of counterweight. And what happens is, whenever it's in very high wind, it tilts up. You see it hits on that rubber stopper there. And it tilts itself out of the wind. Now, how well that'll help in a 50 or 60 mile an hour wind like we get every now and then here, I don't know, but it does push back quite a bit, so it should do pretty good. All right, the wind is somewhat cooperating with us. We have just a little bit coming out of the south, but it's coming and going. It's very light. I've already got it braced in the middle, and it's under tension. My hoist over there is not supporting any weight. I do have a couple of temporary guys just to help hold it steady in case things do start going sideways. I also put a long bar across the bottom down there, and I've got 9 bags of concrete sitting on either side of it. That should just offer it a little bit of support. Should try to walk a little. Now the idea is we're going to stand it up,
get it over these stubs. I'm going to clamp it to the stubs, level everything, drill and run bolts through the stubs, pour concrete, and then untie it from everything. And I do have one concern, like this bar was supposed to, just basically be driven down, but just putting it under tension, it's already flexed a little bit. So it's putting a lot more weight than I thought on this brace here. So I did put a little clamp on either side just to take a little bit more weight, but I half expect my welds to pop loose there and everything to fall. Now, I do say that if it does fall, the thing is tail heavy. The pivot is very heavily made. I think that won't have any problems at all, but if it lands on the tail, it's definitely gonna bugger up the tail and the tail vane. But they're made out of steel, and they're made simply. If I need to, if something bad happens, I can fix it. If something comes around and it hits the blades, I've got a whole other set of blades that I can put up there. So my first attempt to pull it up, I am insured. I can always do it a second time, reevaluate my process. But I hope I don't have to. I hope this all pulls up and it just works the way it's supposed to. We'll see. All right, so that worked a lot better than what I was prepared for failure, but it seemed to do exactly what I thought it would do. So it's up. And just like with the other tower, I'm gonna bring this end down little bitty bits at a time. I'm going to try to go ahead and get my clamp set on that side over there so that it can't possibly walk away. And then, yeah. And with that, it's clamped in place. It's not going anywhere for a few minutes. It is time for some refreshment because it is still 103 degrees outside. Well, the plan was to get everything bolted in place before I poured the concrete, but because the legs were a little bit wonkier than I thought they were, it's hard to see exactly just how bent that leg was before I had it standing up. Yeah, because of all that, I kind of had to just clamp it in place and pour
We're going to get our holes drilled right now and get a couple of 1/2-inch bolts through each leg. See how stable that is. And then get a couple of more. I want 4 of them in each one. There goes half my oil. And with that, I gotta go recharge all my batteries. The tower's up, everything's bolted down. It's not going anywhere, and I've already loosened up all my straps and my guys. I need to get up there and pull them down, get all the cables off. I need to check to make sure that the stub is still level, that I don't think that it's moved any, but just to be sure. And I also am taking up a bit of wire that I can secure the the wire that I got coming off of the slip ring somewhere on the tower, so that it's not being supported by just those soldered connections up top. Because if those break, this will be really interesting to address. If you're going to climb something like this, you need to use a safety harness. I don't have one, and I don't expect to have to be climbing this often enough to want to invest in that. So I'm going to show you right quick how to improvise one. You never know. You're going to want to use tape, ribbon, something that's very, very sturdy. This was an old cargo strap that hook was bent on it anyway. You're going to want something that's very strong. This is rated for 1,000 pounds. You're going to want a section that's got a loop on both ends. That's about twice the length of your arms stretched out. You can use a carabiner in the middle to connect the loops. I like this solid link instead. I like using solid links anywhere I can. Alright. Set this up. You'll put that link in front of you on your chest. Arms stretched out. You're going to put loops on either end, just like so. It's not cooperating with me. Then you're going to take each loop, put your arm through it, and then stretch it over your head, where everything is crossed up in the middle. Adjust everything to where this link is in the center. Now, I can tell you, the benefit of a commercial strap is that it's comfortable. These things are not comfortable. If you want to have an unpleasant day, have this save your life. It also doesn't work very well with tank tops. After you got everything in the middle, you're going to feed this crossed part through your link, where it all comes together right there. Just under your shoulders, around your neck. And that'll be something that you can catch yourself on, and from there, you got your clips, which I would prefer to have bigger ones, but these will do. You want climbing rated, something that's going to support your weight. These things are both
800-pound clips. This one is a 1,000-pound clip. You want it to be able to support you if you slip off. And up the tower we go. Oh, lost my tube. Alright. I'm not hearing any beats from my camera. Alright, after a few days of adventure, it is up. It's untethered, anchored to the ground, ready to get hooked up. I'm still going to have to dig a trench, go into the shop to where I can tie it in electrically, get all that routed, all the line buried, and hopefully we'll have some numbers coming off of it in the next week or so. Kind of neglected a few obligations while I got this thing set up that I've got to catch up on before I can come back to it, so it's probably just going to stay with the brakes on for a few days at least. Thanks for watching. I know this is a long video with a lot going on. I do appreciate everybody who checked it out, and damn cat weighs 11 pounds and it's just a huge sissy. Everybody who watched, again, thank you for watching, and if you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe. I've got a couple other big projects coming up in the near future that I hope will be as interesting. Hit the subscribe button if you like that kind of thing. You'll get updates for whenever I have new videos going. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Good night. Make loops on both sides. That loop goes over your head there. This loop goes over your head here. Adjust it to where all the middle, where everything meets, and where everything meets crossed up in the middle. You're going to put everything through your link. You can use a carabiner. I like using a solid link on this part. No, I did part of this wrong. We might have to film all that again.
Did you practice this?
I did. I haven't done one of these in a long time. And I did practice earlier, and I watched a video just to make sure that I did remember this correctly. Oh well, that I did this wrong will be a fun part of the video.
Except my arms are gonna get tired.
Your arms are strong. You can handle it.
Well, you might have to take like, there you go.
Like this. Oh, yeah. I forgot to actually put my arms through the loops. And it goes like that. Okay. All right.